Now, we all know how important recreation is for our colonists, and the default options are pretty limited. I mean, we throw down a horseshoes pin and a chess table with a few chairs, and then when we get cloth, we can do a poker table and a billiards table, but generally that's about it. So today we're going to look at a few mods that give some more recreation variety. Some might be the same style of recreation, but just give you some different things to do, and some will actually add their own recreation type. As always, the mod links will be in the description below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you find the video useful. Biomes Fossils by Dragon 1993 and the Biomes team. This mod lets you create your very own dinosaur / fossil museum. It creates the museum visiting recreation type, so your colonists can gain recreation just by looking at the exhibits. Now, did I spend over an hour making a museum just to talk about it for a few minutes? Yes. Do I regret it? No, because I think, look, it looks pretty good actually. I think it came out quite nicely. I've tried to make sure I incorporated everything from the mod into the museum. I think I might have missed one or two different exhibits, but that's basically everything is here, and I think, yeah, it came out quite nicely. So in our museum workshop, I can show you on the first things that we're going to talk about. That is the paleontology bench. If you look at the bills on here, you can see the things that you can make. So it shows on here the amber things require amber, and the fossil things require fossils. Quite straightforward. However, if you haven't discovered any amber or fossils yet, you can still make some of these slabs and dioramas with just regular metal or wood, which will still give you the museum visiting recreation type. So rather than make a whole massive museum, you can figuratively just put in a slab or a diorama into your regular recreation room and still get the benefits of that. So in order to get fossils and amber to make some stuff at your paleontology bench, you have to mine them, and we have some mineable versions here. So at the fossils and the amber, these will appear in the world like regular mineable materials, so just have to find them. You might get lucky and some might spawn on your map to start with. If not, just go around the world and find them. Also, this mod does add the paleontologist trader, who might turn up and you can buy it from them directly, and you can also buy some of the other things from the mod from them as well, such as display cases and like dioramas and such. So onto our paleontology tab of the architect menu here, you can see all the different things that you can make. We've got our velvet rope and display lights and signs, which you can change to whichever sign you need or want to put down. That's for the flavor of the museum. Your paleontology bench, display stands, small display stands where you can put on little fossils or little bits of amber, and then obviously your skeletons themselves as well. These all cost fossils to make. 100 cost for small ones, then we got 300 for the medium and 800 for the large. So you would need quite a lot of fossils and bits of amber to make the kind of museum that I've done here. This is just to show all the bits and pieces that you can do with this mod. If you just wanted to have a little bit extra bonus recreation, which is what we're talking about today, you could just get yourself a diorama. You could get enough fossils to make, a small raptor skeleton, let's say, and that'll be enough to give your colonists recreation variety. Now, other notable things from this mod, we have plushies, which are pretty cool, and there are some clothes as well. You have like the mascot outfits, and you have different hats as well. As you see, some of our people, or my two people, are showing them off right now. Actually, you know what? As a bonus, they don't provide bad, good insulation, and it's not actually that too bad, for a thing. I know we're talking about recreation and not about like armor types, but it's something else the mod adds, which, a little bit of bonus. And if you had hospitality, let's say, you could set this up as a shopping area, and you could just make some of these, and you could just sell them to guests as they come in. The mod also did say they want to link it with hospitality, to maybe set it so that you could have people pay to come and use your museum. That way you can get money as well as gain recreation for them and for all of your people too. Standalone Hot Spring by Ballista Freak. With this mod, you can make your very own hot spring, where up to 6 colonists can use it for recreation at the same time. You're also able to force your colonists to go directly into it if you want to use hot spring, and the reason for that is it's not just for recreation. So with this, it gives you some buffs to your character to overcome illnesses and to recover from wounds quicker. So as you see here, one of my colonists has jumped inside the hot spring. I've got a simple HD body texture on why it looks a bit more defined, but it should be very much YouTube safe. There's not much too much detail in there, I don't think. So look at the health tab. Healing waters is the buff we get. So filtration plus 8%. You get increased natural healing factor, and it also it gives you plus 50 and minus 50 comfortable temperature as well. So if someone's getting a bit of heat stroke, or if they're getting a bit too cold, you can throw them directly in there and it'll regulate their temperature. They'll also keep this buff once they get out as residual rejuvenation. They don't get the temperature bonuses anymore, but they still get the filtration and the healing factor for a good amount of time. The mod also recommends if someone's sick, throwing them in there like once a day just to give them a little bit of a buff. And also you can't put anyone in there who is currently can't move, because they'll drown, so it doesn't let you do that. So it costs 500 stony resources to make one of these hot springs. I've made this one out of amber because we have the fossils mod on and it looks quite cool, quite nice and shiny, I think. And you can't build them anywhere you want. They have to go on one of the steam geysers. As you see here, it goes green because we can build it on top of there. So you are kind of limiting yourself a little bit because, well, you haven't really choice really, but you can't have obviously a geothermal generator on top of the one you build the hot spring on, so it might sacrifice a little bit of power. And the other thing is, you'd obviously want your people to be nice and safe, so if you haven't got any of the guys as close enough to your base, you might have to build your hot spring a bit far away, thus wasting time them going there and back for recreation. But I think it's definitely worth probably sacrificing one of the geysers though, because the healing factor you get from it is actually a nice big buff. And back onto the recreation side of it, the power is 140%, which is kind of like how fast you get recreation from doing it. In my little hut up here, you can see the horseshoes pin is only 100% recreation power, a chess table 100, billiards 130, so it's even better than a billiards table. And obviously, yeah, the healing buff as well, I think makes it a really high quality mod. Ball Games by Keitori Senku. This mod gives you access to volleyball, basketball and soccer/football. I'll say soccer because that's what the mod author says, but I don't want to get into any fights about it, so yeah, soccer it is for now. So with this, it gives you the recreation type for agility play. All three are the same. All three give a recreation power of 130% as well, which, as we saw earlier, is the same as like a billiards table. But with a billiards table, it's dexterity play, same as the horseshoes pin. So this gives you more variety for recreation and still gives you very good recreation power. To make them, they're not crazy expensive, but you will need some wood or metal for this one and quite a lot of cloth. So it's kind of like the poker table and the billiards table. You'll have to wait till later on when you get access to some cloth. But once you do, it's a nice, strong recreation type. And to show you some of it in action, we have Yeevee here playing. You see the ball kind of like shoots off towards the net. You don't really get any big graphics of them jumping around, playing together. They all kind of do it by themselves. But if you go over to the basketball, it's probably going to be something quite similar. Just the ball bouncing off. And then with the soccer as well, the ball kind of bounces around. So yeah, you can see that they're doing it. And as you can see, the recreation is going up at quite a nice pace. Children's books by BBL Kepling. If you've only got vanilla, it'll only add the colouring books, which are these ones here. However, if you have biotech, it will also add the children's books. With these books, if we click on the information tab here, the recreation and learning game multiplier goes up. Obviously, the higher quality of the book as well. So legendary will be 250%. Down to awful will be only 120. But for kids, it gives them the learning boost as well as recreation. Now, anyone can read the books, teens and adults as well. However, adults and teens get bored a lot quicker. So they're mainly for kids, for their recreation and learning needs. But for a short period of time, teens and adults can also do it as well. Now, with the colouring books, anyone can get the benefit of them. Kids, adults, teens, anyone can get them. However, which is quite clever, I think, the more people read them, which is basically them colouring in the books. I don't know if I can see someone do it. Bishop. We're going to read that one there. The HP of the book goes down, which denotes it being coloured in. Once it gets down to 0 HP, it becomes trash. So as you see here straight away, it's down 2 HP. So Bishop's having a good old colouring in. Once they go down, yes, it goes to trash and you just have to get rid of it. It's no good, but you can get them from traders, colouring books and books alike. Now, other good things about the books, teens and adults can read them to babies or kids as bedtime stories. Are we going to haul them away now while I'm talking about them? Okay, just shove them where you want. So they read them as bedtime stories. Now that's really good. Gives a nice bit of recreation and obviously happiness boost to the adult and to the kid themselves. And the only kind of downside is once you add this mod and you start reading them bedtime stories, there's like a 5-day grace period after a bedtime story. But if you don't keep on top of reading your kids bedtime stories after that, they start to get a negative mood buff. So as long as you've got childcare people, you should generally be okay. But yeah, it makes sense though, because if your kid's getting a bedtime story every night, then you stop doing it, they're going to get upset after a while. So yeah, really good books. I mean, they give good recreation, good learning gain, great for the kids, and it's just a nice touch that I think Rimworld should already have in there anyway. Musical instruments, originally by Dog Problems, but kept alive by Melee. So with this mod, you can make your own musical instruments. As you can see here, we have ourselves an instrument bench, which if you go down the research tree, you have primitive, stringed to electric as well. So yeah, you can go on here and you can make most of these instruments. And as you see, they're not that expensive either. So that's quite a good way of getting some musical recreation. And there are also 2 built-in type instruments as well, the marimba and the electronic organ. If you click on these here, you also get the music appreciation recreation type. So not just the regular music one, which you get from playing the instruments, but appreciation as well. So I'm not actually exactly sure if that's just a person playing it gets that, but when they do play an instrument, and it's let's knock down there. This is how we do this, by the way. Go to their needs, knock the recreation down nice and low. So if I go to this, oh, they're going to do it anyway. They're playing the balalika. I don't know how to pronounce that. They're playing that one, and they're going to gain the recreation up that way. Now, this is quite an old mod. I think it's like 1.0 and 1.1 until it was kept alive or being kept updated. So, I mean, art could be better, but they're pretty good. It doesn't show you on here what type of recreation or the power, unfortunately. I'm just going to assume these are just musical, and these ones are the appreciation separate. So 2 slightly different types of recreation type, but you get a nice little bit of music in there as well. So yeah, another nice little variety in your recreation. Musical. You do obviously have instruments like the harp and such that you can do, but it's just nice to have a few different options here without having to worry about the ideology stuff. And like I said, they're quite cheap to make, so probably a good staple recreation type for the future. And that was 5 pretty quick mods for recreation that I think a lot of people here would benefit from. Obviously, the Biomes Fossil mod is not just about the recreation side. There's a bit more to it than that, but it does add that extra recreation type, which is why I included it. And plus, once I saw it and I played around with it, I thought this is a really cool mod. And it actually is just like, yeah, it's really beautiful. I really like it. So thank you guys very much for watching today. All the links will be in the description below as always. And if you enjoyed the video or just found it useful, make sure you like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments if there's any other recreation mods that you guys use, or if you're going to pick up any of the ones that I mentioned today. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.